Welcome into episode 2 of the Epic Japan Trek. We're starting day 5 right out of the gate with some photos, which this was a walk down to our first temple / shrine that we went to on this trip, which was actually not too far from my Airbnb. Shrines and temples here are everywhere. You could be in the busiest part of town, skyscrapers, buildings, a lot of industrial areas, and out of nowhere, lush, green, beautiful temple. Just right in the mix. I shot these photos with the Polaroid I-2. The I-2 was really serving me well in Japan. This was right when the firmware update came out and I wanted to test it out. And it did well. From here, we headed over to Diver City to check out that life-size Gundam, which is insane, so stay tuned for that. But we had to hit up some shopping centers and hit a 7-Eleven, baby. Oh, I miss those so much. The foods you see, and it's so cheap, and the food's so good. Found some gashapon, so you know what that means. Had to get some. I'm still after that alien gashapon, and there was no luck at this spot. But they had a Chucky one. I had to get it. I love that movie. Hot take maybe, but my favorite Chucky movies are The Bride of Chucky and The Seed of Chucky. Let me know in the comments below how much you hate me saying that. And what's this? A porter potty? I don't know. It was ridiculous. Had to get it. A Minecraft store? Interesting. Oh, also found Kit Kat cereal, which Kit Kats in Japan are next level. They love their Kit Kats here. There are so many flavors. I tried to try them all, but failed because there's just too many to get. And they're all so good. Which brings us to the main attraction, the reason that we came here. That's bigger than I thought it was going to be. That's what she said. This is the Diver City Gundam, life size. I wish you could gather the scale. This thing is absolutely massive and incredible. Damn. Can't really get the scale of this thing. It's huge. I had my 35mm soda can camera with me and I shot this photo of it, which came out amazing. And then I had the I-2 with me and I shot one with that, but there was a small issue. A white statue against a white background. We'll see what happens. And given the circumstances that it was overcast and a little humid that day, I actually really love this. It does have a little bit of color shifting, but can't really avoid that with Polaroid. But the I-2 handled it well. White subject on a white background, crushed it. I also shot this in auto with exposure compensation, I think set to like -1.5. This thing was absolutely incredible. This is probably the closest way I can show you the scale of this thing. Look at the people and look at the size of this thing. It is huge. Loved it. And right next to this, there was like this little smoothie cart. So I got myself a commemorative cup and I'm storing some of my gashapons from the trip inside of it. We're going up there. I think, if we can figure it out. Next, we headed on over to, I believe it's called Fuji TV. This is where you catch the legendary Pokemon known as Zapdos in the original Game Boy game. Hopefully he's up there. You think Zapdos is up there?
Gotta save the power plant.
He says yes, maybe. You have to save the power plant. That was only in yellow, right? Or is that in red and blue? It's in all of them. We're nerding out over here. This actually might not be true. I did some research and I can't find anything about it. So we might be wrong. Oh, I also got a Gundam drink from the life-size Gundam. This thing's amazing. This drink. Wow. We shot a bunch of photos of this. We actually ended up coming back to this at night, so stay tuned for that. But during the day, I had some black and white film. It was the monochrome frames from last year, and that stuff gave some really unique results. I had it loaded in my SX70. I don't know what was going on. It wasn't expired. It was maybe 5 months old, 6 months old at this time. It should have been working fine, but it wasn't. But it gave some cool results nonetheless. And I also shot one in color with the I-2, though I was getting some weird color shifts with this film. And this is the film that I bought from that camera store, so I don't know what's going on. But I don't really mind it. I think it looks pretty cool. This was the view inside that metal ball, and this was the view from outside that metal ball. There's no Zapdos. You lied.
Someone already got him.
Someone already caught him. No Zapdos. Again, I researched. I can't find anything. If you know more, please let me know in the comments below. So quick hack with the I-2 camera if you're trying to shoot through glass, because you can't actually shoot through glass because the autofocus will set to the glass. So a way around that is meter the scene, then set the camera into like aperture priority mode or manual mode, set it to those settings, focus on something that's really, really far away or within the range, and then half press the button and then move back to the window and then take your shot. And that should bypass the window being there or the autofocus. You know what I mean. So after admiring the views from up here, and Caleb let me use his Instax 300 for a shot, we headed back down, and I think, if I remember right, there was a shopping center right across the street, and this was just sitting there. Why? I don't understand. It was in a random corner next to an escalator. But hey, it's Bruce Willie. Random. Love it. Inside this place, we found this like shooting gallery. You shot cork bullets at snacks. I'm in. These guns were like air powered, and you just plugged it with a cork and you tried to shoot your target. And as many as you knock over, you got to keep. We walked away with a few. It was so much fun. Not a bad haul. I'm American. I should be good at this. While at the shopping center, I found grape Fanta in a glass bottle, and I wish you could feel how heavy this thing is. It is like a brick. Plus, they seem to love grape Fanta here. It is rare to find any other flavor. But we had enough shopping for now, so we decided to head out to shoot some photos and just get some fresh air. We found ourselves at this National Historical Site. It was an old gun battery from the 1800s, replica, but still really cool place. It was right next to this really cool bridge, so I busted out the I-2, shot this. Conditions were not great. White bridge against a white background. Didn't do the greatest this time. Then I had an idea. I happened to bring my 12x lens with me. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I've got the 12x lens attachment for the SX70. Let's try it. And I also still had that crappy black and white film still loaded in there, which kind of sucked. But I didn't know that every shot was gonna look bad at the time. The reason I don't think it's gonna work is because there's not a lot of light. And this thing needs a lot of light. And I don't have a tripod. It's the second tower, not the first one there. It's the farthest one away. That's so far away. And I cranked up the exposure comp by 1. I don't know if that was enough, but I don't have a tripod. And it's not quite bright outside, so we'll see. Let's experiment. It's kind of all jacked up. But hey, it totally worked though. It's technically in focus. It's not blurry at all. I got something. It did work. But I'm calling this a success, even though it's still not the greatest shot. But technically it worked. I don't know. What do you think? Is it cool? Let me know. Leave some comments. Just realized on this little trek adventure that we're going through, trekking through Japan, I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt. If this was a movie, I'm the comic relief guy that dies to sacrifice himself to save the group or move the plot forward. Hopefully that's not the case here. There's something in the trees. I can feel it. Logan Paul over here. Logan Paul, no. It was quoting the movie Predator.
There's something in those trees.
I feel like I'm gonna step on a wrong stone and get impaled by some harpoons and spears.
Yeah, we all jumped at the same time. We might be able to open the Legend of the Hidden Temple.
All right, that's enough goofing off. It was getting pretty dark, but right before we left that little battery park area, Caleb was nice enough to let me shoot with his 300 to get this shot of the so-called power plant from Pokemon, aka Fuji TV. It was getting a little bit too dark though, which I wanted to head back to the Fuji TV and take some of the photos there at night. And we got some pretty good ones. So I pulled out that Polaroid I-2 since I had that crappy black and white still loaded. This wasn't the look I was trying to get, but I'm not complaining. I think it's like super fun and creepy. Kind of reminds me of like aliens looking down on us. I don't know. What do you guys think? Little known fact, this was modeled off of the thermal detonator from Star Wars. New series I'm working on. Completely untrue facts. Possibly a zine coming soon. So on that note, it brings day 5 to a close. And on the train, I saw this cat just kind of chilling. So we head back to the Airbnb, and here's my haul. This is what I was lugging around in that backpack all day. And also, I was averaging like anywhere from 25 to 30,000 steps a day on this trip. Insane. Which brings us to the morning of day 6. If you're a member of the old Spitfire Club, then here's an update for you. But if you're not, guess what? I brought pack film. Been here for like 5 days, 4 days. Haven't shot it yet. And then the pack film camera, I just brought the 250, not the Goose. Would have been fun to do Goose Week in Japan, but that's not gonna happen. Oh, and then the other camera I brought is the Lomo wide, and it has been kind of failing me, which is unfortunate. I don't know what's going on with it. It's not getting the focus right. So I'm like shooting landscapes and stuff, or things that are far away. They're kind of coming out soft and a little bit blurry. I don't know. It's kind of failing me, which sucks. I brought a lot of film for that. And I did bring in one other camera, and that is my Coke can camera, 35mm, just for fun. I've already gotten some laughs, and that's what it's all about. I love that. The funny thing about this is that I loaded this camera in February in Disney World of 2023. I actually did a separate video just on this camera and 4 other film cameras where I shot around the world. Well, kinda. If you want to check out that video, the link is in the description. And for those that are doing the math at home, it's 2024, near the end. Is it October yet? The time zone change here in Japan has been kind of wild. Nope, it's still September 30th, which that means it's September 29th back home. It's crazy, the time zone. I'm traveling in the future. Quit living in the past, guys. This is good life advice. Let's go have some fun. Let's shoot some pack film today, maybe. I will be bringing that with me. Oh, I should probably show you what I brought. So I brought 1 pack of the ID film, but got some precious FP100C. Yeah, let's have some fun, baby. All right, enough about that. Let's pack up and hit the road. But I had to switch backpacks because the one I was wearing, which was awesome, it was literally falling apart. Thanks, Pat Flynn, for a defective backpack that I got for free at Card Party. I'm being sarcastic. I'm on his team. Don't fire me. Today we decided to go to Skytree, second tallest building in the world. But first we stopped at some temples/shrines. The architecture is just beautiful here. I'm probably gonna butcher the name of this, but like this pagoda, I tried shooting this with my Polaroid twice and both of them came out terrible. You couldn't even see the image, sadly. We also discovered these stamp books. At every temple you can get a new stamp with a donation. These are so cool. We're just a little upset we didn't discover this until this far into the trip. We only ended up getting like a handful of these stamps, but still an awesome souvenir to take home. My main camera choice today is the I-2, since I have that crappy black and white film still loaded in my SX70. I really like this temple. I love the lanterns. Caleb shot this with the Instax Wide 300. Amazing. Tried to convince Caleb to rent one of these paddle boats with me, but it was a no-go. I'm joking. In fact, I'm the one complaining that we had to walk around this lake. I have never done so much walking in my entire life. Whew, it was exhausting, and I was not properly prepared. Next time I'll bring the right footwear. But the walking was worth it because you got to see cool stuff like this. A circle tree. What? So cool. So after walking around the temples, we decided that we needed to do more walking, which was on our way to Skytree. And we snapped a couple photos along the way. I think this is the first shot where the I-2 failed me. I don't know what happened, but the Lomo actually did a great job. One of the few really good shots I got with the Lomo on this trip, sadly. Here's a few shots of Caleb's, and yeah, his definitely came out a lot better. The I-2 did redeem itself though. I think his shot came out pretty cool. Japan has 3 major convenience stores, 7-Eleven, Family Mart, and Lawson's. And we never went to a Lawson. I'm kind of bummed. At least I have this Polaroid shot of it. Oh, and I shot it with the I-2. I'm also bummed that all this film is coming out with these weird artifacts. And again, I got it here in Japan from that camera shop. But enough about that. We have now arrived at Skytree. Currently at the Skytree in Japan. Look at this thing. It's huge. As Caleb would say, it's a 600-foot tower. That doesn't look like it's 600 feet.
600 feet above sea level.
Over there. I think this is a 600-foot tower.
Maybe a little bit bigger than that.
It's over 2,000. Yeah, this thing is over 2,000 feet tall. Second tallest building in the world. Yeah, I'm with you. My thoughts exactly. So Caleb and I headed up to check out the view, which was quite insane. Yeah, 360-degree field of view of basically the entire country. I'm exaggerating. But before I headed up, I snapped this photo with the Polaroid I-2. But the elevator right up here was kind of insane. It never felt like we were moving at all. In fact, if we didn't see this window of the view, it would have felt like we were just teleported to the top. Wild. And it only took like a few seconds for us to get from the bottom to the top. The view up here was absolutely insane. However, wasn't optimal for instant photography. It was getting a little bit too dark out, but it didn't stop us from trying. Sometimes shooting instant photography isn't necessarily getting the perfect shot. It's about creating that memory. And these photos were with me while I was over 2,000 feet off the ground. Sometimes I just have to remind myself of that. Before we made our way down, they were offering free photos, but just as you can expect, nothing's free in this world. And we kind of fell for that scam. The free photo was this. And at first, I didn't even notice that there was a photo of Caleb and I on it. It's this tiny one in the corner. That's the free photo. But they don't really tell you that. They pull out this and be like, hey, do you want it? It's 4,000 yen, which is like 25 US dollars. So I ponied up and bought ourselves 2 sets of these so we could have them. Hashtag no regrets.
That's my credo. No regrets.
Once we got to the bottom, I snapped a couple photos. Wish I could have shot some with instant photos. Though I did have the i2 with me, I didn't have a tripod. Lugging that thing around would have been awful since I'm walking like 25,000+ steps a day. So I had to settle for phone photos. Now that we're on the ground floor, we head over to the Pokemon Center, which this center had Pikachu and Rayquaza. I probably didn't say that right. And I actually remembered to shoot it this time with an instant camera, which I shot it with a Polaroid I-2. And Caleb shot this with the wide 300. Wow, I'm actually massively impressed with these results. And that brings day 6 to a close. Next on the trek, we head over to Osaka to check out Universal Studios, then the Nintendo Museum, more street photography, and I try my very first ever Zima. Yeah, but you'll have to wait until tomorrow to see the next episode of the epic Japan Trek. Consider subscribing. Until next time, get out there, make some art.